Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're unpacking a really critical, frankly alarming situation. We are looking at the anatomy of a major threat, the recent ShinyHunters breach of the Instructure Canvas learning management system. Now, if you're a student, a faculty member, or an IT administrator, you need to listen up because this directly affects you. Today, we're going to unpack exactly how attackers are exploiting a very specific architectural vulnerability to launch highly personalized phishing campaigns. And more importantly, we're going to figure out exactly how we can stop them in their tracks. Here is our roadmap for the Explainer today. First, we'll cover the Canvas LMS breach, then the free-for-teacher flaw. Next, the personalized phishing threat, followed by IT actions and remediation, and we'll wrap up with defending students and faculty.
All right, Section 1, the Canvas LMS breach, a critical exposure.
We really need to establish right out of the gate the incredibly serious nature of this active extortion campaign. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the official Instructure advisory at the top. Notice how it's marked critical in all caps. Yeah, this isn't just your routine Tuesday patch update. Instructure confirmed a major breach affecting the core Canvas platform in May 2026. And get this is actually the second ShinyHunters attack against Instructure in just an 8-month window. Let's briefly walk through the chronological timeline of the breach, just to really set the stakes and understand the scope of the exposure here. So on April 29th, 2026, unauthorized activity was first detected. The actual exposure window ran for 8 whole days, from April 30th to May 7th. During that entire time, threat actors were inside the system. Finally, on May 7th, the vendor took systems offline for investigation and shut that window. But the pressure definitely didn't stop there. The threat group, ShinyHunters, went ahead and set an extended ransom deadline for May 12th.
Moving on to Section 2, the free-for-teacher flaw, and what happens when isolation collapses.
So you're probably wondering, how did they actually get in? Well, unlike that previous attack 8 months prior, which hit Salesforce business systems, this breach struck directly at the heart of the Canvas platform itself. This advisory excerpt explains exactly how the free-for-teacher access paths were exploited. You see, the attackers didn't necessarily break down the heavily fortified front door. Instead, they found a side window that was left wide open. The vendor's exposure pattern reveals these underdefended adjacencies. Basically, the trust boundaries between different systems were shockingly weaker than the highly sensitive data they were supposedly protecting. You can really see the stark contrast here. On one side, you've got paid institutional tenants. These go through rigorous verification, strict onboarding, and they host your actual production data. On the other side, you've got free-for-teacher accounts. These were specifically designed with lower friction onboarding, letting educators just sign up without any institutional verification. The absolutely critical flaw here, they shared the exact same backend infrastructure. It's wild. When that verification gap becomes an exploitation gap, the entire isolation model just completely collapses. All right, Section 3, the personalized phishing threat, the stolen payload. Now, we've got to shift to the most dangerous downstream consequence of this specific architectural flaw: what data was actually taken. The confirmed exposed data includes names, email addresses, student ID numbers, and private messages between users. Now, Instructure was quick to note that passwords and financial info were not exposed. But listen, make no mistake, this specific combination of personally identifiable information, or PII, is absolutely high-quality, premium fuel for attackers. The threat analysis contains this genuinely chilling quote: "An email that quotes a private Canvas message establishes false credibility." Think of this like a secret handshake. Usually, if you get a generic, clunky phishing email, you can spot it a mile away, right? But imagine getting an email that uses your real student ID or replies to an actual private message you just sent your professor about an essay extension. Your natural suspicion just drops. Attackers use your own private stolen data to prove they are someone they're not. It is incredibly effective. Which brings us to Section 4, IT actions and remediation, closing the gaps. For all the IT administrators tuning in, here are your immediate, non-negotiable actions to secure your systems. Step 1, verify your exposure status by checking the ShinyHunters disclosure list. But please, and I cannot stress this enough, IT folks, this list is hosted on threat actor-controlled infrastructure. Only access it using a sandboxed browser or an isolated virtual environment. Do not just click it on your main machine. Step 2, you must immediately rotate API credentials and reauthorize integrations. And Step 3, assess any free-for-teacher account usage in your environment by digging deep into those Canvas admin logs to spot any anomalies. Let's actually pause on Step 2 for just a second, because why is reauthorizing so absolutely crucial? Well, we need to understand LTI and OAuth integrations. These are the behind-the-scenes protocols that embed external apps. Think tools like Turnitin, Zoom, or Google Drive directly into Canvas, granting them access without having to share passwords every time. Now, if the service credentials governing these protocols were compromised during that 8-day breach window, attackers could maintain persistent backdoor access right into your system. You literally have to rotate those API keys to sever that unauthorized access once and for all. Furthermore, IT teams, you need to check your Canvas login page right now. Visually inspect the institution's login page for any unexpected text, weird images, or subtle branding changes. There were TechCrunch reports of actual login page defacement at affected institutions. By comparing your live page right now against archived pre-breach versions, you can actually detect if attackers used elevated privileges to tamper with your tenant's actual configuration. Okay, Section 5. Defending students and faculty, spotting the fakes. We're pivoting directly to everyday users now, with some real strategies to protect yourselves. Instructors' guidelines on preparing for personalized phishing warn us that generic phishing, like some random email demanding you reset your password, is super easy to spot. But we have to be prepared for lures that utilize our actual student IDs and real course data. The attackers literally have the puzzle pieces to make their fake messages look flawlessly authentic. So, the crucial point is this simple defense guide. First up, always hover over links to check destination URLs before you click anything. Faculty members, if you get a suddenly urgent request about course materials or grade changes, verify it through a completely separate channel. Call them, text them, don't just hit reply. Students, you need to recognize that an email might be a complete fake even if it includes your real verified student ID number. If it suddenly asks for a password or pushes you to a weird, unrelated link, it is a trap. And lastly, for everyone, report any suspicious emails to your IT department immediately so they can track the campaign and warn the rest of the campus. All right, that brings us to our final slide today, and I want to leave you with a really vital question to ponder. When trust boundaries fail in shared cloud platforms, is your data ever truly isolated? This breach proved, without a doubt, that a free account with incredibly weak verification can absolutely compromise a fully paid, highly secure system simply because they share the same backend infrastructure. It's a wake-up call. I encourage you to stay curious, stay highly vigilant, and always question the credibility of unexpected messages, no matter how perfectly personalized that they might seem. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and stay safe out there.